everybody. Welcome. Sorry for all that craziness. If we want to introduce ourselves very, very briefly, just your name and where you're from, we can go around and do that. I'll start and call on someone, and then when you're done, call on someone else. So I'm Kitty, and I'm from Florida, and Dex, you're up next.
I'm Dex, Northern Virginia, and been doing catharsis since 2016. Shelby.
All right, I am Shelby. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. Blue.
Let's see. Am I speaking? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Blue from Washington, D.C. And, I'm supposed to call upon someone. How about Astral?
I am Astral. I am from Annapolis, but I'm in Baltimore right now.
Jennifer.
Oh, who am I calling on? Nick. Calling him.
I am Nick, or Ranger St. Nick. I am in Orlando currently. Who hasn't gone? I wasn't paying. HouseFire Sanctuary, did you go already or no?
Nope.
Yay.
I'm Serenity. Hi, everyone. I'm in New Jersey, and I'll pass it over to Ted.
Yeah, hi, guys. I sort of said hello a little bit earlier. My name is Tad. I lived in D.C. throughout the entire Obama years, but as I said, moved out to L.A. about a year and a half ago, but hung out quite a bit with the D.C. burner familia when I was there, where I was known as Princess Tiffany. Sorry I didn't get the tiara out for the Zoom call here.
I'm Leonardo. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, also known as Anthony.
Do you want to be next? Or?
West Coast, U.S. I'm involved with the virtual world stuff.
What's your name?
Kuga?
Oh, cool. All right, cool. And then Static Box down there is the only one we're missing, I think. Or Paige. Paige, are we... Do we do Paige?
Yeah, guys, my name's Paige, and I'm in Baltimore. B-Moa. And then, yeah, Static Box.
What up, Static homie?
Static Box is Joe,
Hey, Joe.
I think.
Is that a joke? That kid scarred me.
So welcome. Thanks for showing up. And Paige, you want to do the overview?
Yeah. I just want to. Kitty, I'm trying to remove your screen share because I want to be able to see
I'll stop
everybody.
it for you. Yep.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
I have it up on the other side, but if anybody wants to see it, I don't care. I was just trying to fix that because I wanted to be able to see everybody's faces. Everybody, so my name's Paige. I just said that. I've been working with a couple of people really closely on here to get this HouseFire burn going on. And so I'm just gonna give you the basic information, the overview of what this looks like thus far, and kind of let you know where we're at. Our goal for this meeting is to give you a really clear overview of where we're at, what we need right now, and then talk about some ideas and like open up the floor for questions, input, etc. at the end. So as of right now, HouseFire is set to be slated for June 5th through the 8th. If everybody would, if you have Instagram and you use it or you don't mind following us at HouseFire_burn, and I will put that in the chat. This will help us get the word out a little bit more and help people that aren't on Facebook to use that platform. And Shelby is managing that. She's doing an awesome job. So thank you, Shelby. So the way this looks for us is that we have 2 websites. So the first one is housefire.org, and that's where all of our information is hosted. That's where you can go to find out information about the burn, about volunteer options, about theme camps. It's basically the precursor website for our burn. Then we have a second website that's being built for the actual burn. So to host all of the events, to host the multiple platforms, and they're separated into 3 different categories essentially, and we'll get into that a little bit more about how that's being built out. But we have an awesome web designer and developer who's been working closely with Blue to kind of make this happen, and so mad props to them as well, because it's not a small task to do something like this, and we're really grateful for the people that have like come together so far and getting us to a place where we can have this town hall. So again, just to clarify, there's a difference between the playa that's going to host the actual burn event and the precursor website, which is housefire.org. Anyone have any questions about that? Awesome. So right now we are, the way that we have,
I got a question real quick. Are we marketing this like a Burning Man replacement, or like as Burning Man, or are we doing this separate from what would be Burning Man?
Yeah, so this is a separate burn from Burning Man. There's absolutely no intention to replace Burning Man or to be directly associated, or to have it be directly associated being that we are acting in accordance with the Burning Man principles. I personally think about it like a regional burn, but it's a virtual burn. And I think anybody can jump in here when I say this. I think our goal is to think about it as bigger than a regional burn. I mean, we really are trying to incorporate people from all sides of the globe, of the planet. So there's no limit there, which actually we think makes us really special and cool. And as we've kind of met people in different formats, whether that's other online activities in this virtual world that we live in right now, or through planning, or through Second Life stuff. I mean, one thing that Blue brought up a long time ago is like, how cool is it that you're really able to get to know different people from different areas? And like when you go to a regional burn, you're like, oh man, what's up? That's so crazy. I saw you here. And then you go to Burning Man, you see all these people from all different places, and it's like this culmination. So we would like to see that culmination happen and really include people from as many different places as possible. But yes, I would consider this a very independent burn.
Yeah, I don't think we have the stamp, the official sanctioned stamp, like Burning Man organization for regionals. There's like sanctioned regionals, and then there's like festivals with an effigy. So we're very like I call myself a burner, and I feel like it's very, it's in the spirit of burning, but it's not like a official sanctioned Burning Man organization official event.
We are on the Burning Man blog. The Black Rock blog mentioned us, so I feel like that's pretty legit. So what we're doing, the way that we've kind of broken up where we're at right now for this town hall, is to say that we're looking for leads for different parts of this burn. Once we have those leads in place, then we'll open it up to general volunteer needs. Just being that, so we need, for example, a lead for greeters. Once we have a lead for greeters, because this is something that is going to have a lot of ingenuity with how it's structured, and we want to give as much creative control to those leads as possible, we felt that it was important to start by finding the leads and setting those people in place before opening it up to a general volunteer situation, so that we don't want this to be messy. Any questions there? So on our website, housefire.org, you will see a lead application description button, and then a lead application form button. And those descriptions have like what we've come up with as requisites for what you would need to do, or like how much time we estimate you'd need to spend to be the greeters lead, or to be the center cafe lead, or to be the temple lead. one thing that we're looking for that's a little bit aside from that I wanted to put out here specifically is the director of communications lead. So we're looking for someone who's interested in doing a newsletter specifically for HouseFire, and who's interested in, there's a few other things with that I can't remember. Blue, what were the other two things that person would do?
So basically the two things are, one, you mentioned the newsletter, which right now comes out every Friday, and they would be working with me to get it out. It's not that time intensive, but it probably takes around 2 hours or somewhere between 1 and 2 hours to do it. But I would work with them to make sure that it actually gets out. If they produce it, they make it look nice, they get the information there, then we'll get it out. And then the other thing is video. Video sort of relating to the world, what we're trying to do, the messages we're trying to give, that type of thing.
Cool. Yeah, and then there's a spot for an assistant director of communications. So somebody that, I mean, it can be whoever that director of communications, if you and your brother are stuck at home together and you're like, oh, we could do this together, or, want to put out a call for that. But probably two people to really help facilitate the newsletters, and then also, like Blue said, those videos. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Blue, what exactly you need on the videos? Because we spoke before a little bit, and I'm an actress. I do lots of videos. I do a little bit of filmmaking as well, and music. So when it comes in terms of like videos and like do a research under, like together with you guys and posting things like that, I'm happy to do it. I just need to know exactly what else would you need it on the videos.
Cool. So yeah, so basically, for example, one of the big things these days are the deadlines. We have deadlines coming up. There's a deadline on Friday for theme camp interest, and there's some other deadlines. So that type of thing, and any type of news we're trying to get out to the world, those are the types of things. Or also facilitating people bringing things into us, like trying to get people to do input about the 10 principles. So we can talk about it later, but it sounds like you might be interested, so that's great.
Yes, absolutely. We'll talk about it. I'll make a note.
Thank you. I'm going to pass it over. So that's pretty much all I have to say. The only thing else that I'll throw in here, just so we don't have to circle back to me, is the two things that I'm handling personally are the arteries. So any art that's coming in looking for leads for burnable and non-burnable artwork, and facilitating a gallery, an online gallery that we'll be able to go to via a virtual space and look at people's art, and create a situation where artists can come in and talk together. So I'm going to pass it over to Serenity, the amazing Serenity, who is going to talk a little bit more about the volunteers needed in specific chambers.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Paige.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Serenity. So brief introduction from myself. I am, I guess we can call me like head liaison. So anybody who is filling in those lead positions to most of the main departments, excluding rangers and artery, I will be talking directly with them, working directly with them. I'm also lead of sanctuary. So to get into a little bit of what we're doing with the volunteer work and how that looks. So we're really focused on getting the leads in, as Paige mentioned before, and having those people set up those spaces and start compiling how to create these spaces. But there's certain places in which you can still come in to volunteer for now. Sanctuary, which is the department I lead in HouseFire. We have a good amount of volunteers that are already in there already. We just finished up training and are putting together those last details, but it's not too late for anybody to jump in and start setting up shifts. There'll be like training hand guides that are available to others in a few days. For Mata Rangers, Kitty, do you have a place in which you're compiling the Rangers already?
After this meeting, so in the next week, I'm going to have, right now there's a thread on the interest group. And then there's in the volunteer form, there's an option to suggest interest in being a Mata Ranger. And then we'll have our first meeting next week.
Awesome. Thanks, Kitty. So any interest in the Mata Rangers, which is Rangers, but translated to Mata Rangers, which is more of a role that we need in a virtual event. So anybody who wants to volunteer in that department, Kitty's your girl. That's also put out on the interest group page, like Kitty mentioned. So we have effigy. I don't know if you've seen all of the postings of the man who is putting together the effigy, but it's coming together beautifully. And from my understanding, he has a big surprise. This is what he's said to me. I don't even personally know what that means, but that's really exciting. As for the rest, the Artery Lounge page, everyone's for Artery is working directly with you, right?
Can we explain for my clueless self what this means? Because, I know what this stuff means in, a real life sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What does virtual sense mean? That's
Let's
sort of
do
why
that.
I pulled back in the first place a little bit, because I realized, shit, I don't remember anything about, walking around with a virtual avatar. And, I went to go do it, and it was really overwhelming, and that I, sucked inside of myself. So maybe if we could, start or explain what any of this is in that regard.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let me go there.
Yeah.
Let me go there.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Sorry, guys. So let's go there. Greeters. So we'll go down one by one. So the greeter space. So what we are working with right now and how we kind of envision the greeter space is going to be like this portal that everyone has to go through in order to get to the main part of the burn. So this is where you will check in and receive any information you need to integrate into the virtual burn.
That would be website first and greeter on website, or Second Life and greeter on
It would
Second
be,
Life?
good question. It would be portal to greeter, and then from greeter to website.
So I'm going to add in something here as well. To answer your question, Astral, is something that makes this a little bit difficult to communicate is that we are hoping that we can give a little bit of creative freedom and agency to those leads. So for example, the effigy and the temple, that could look a little bit different depending on who's the lead and how they want to do it. If somebody wants to build something and burn it in their backyard and then film that for everybody, that's one approach, right? For the conclave, if somebody wants to get recordings of people playing music and combine that to one soundtrack and then play it while they live stream people doing flow art next to the effigy, that's one way to go about it. So there's a lot of options that we have here because this is a totally new thing for us. So some of these things are not completely sussed out due to the fact that we would like for those leads to have that kind of agency. But as far as actually going through the website portal, once and anyone can speak up if I'm wrong here, but our idea is that you would go through, when you go on the website, you would start with the greeters. You would go through that just like you would come into a burn. And then once you're in there, you can go to any events through the what, when, where guide. So, you're physically at your house. Maybe there's something you want to do from 6 to 8, and then you have to take the kids to bed or something, and you can come out and jump on another event. So that's does that help answer that question?
Sort of, yes. The problem is that I am a full-time teacher still, and so I'm trying to like what I've tried to explain in the beginning is it's hard for me to commit to things not knowing really if I'm going to like so far I've been trying to tie in people who are actually good at whatever these individual things are. So like I was the one that posted like, hey, let's do this in a setting that we can have a VR type of thing.
Sure.
And then that spiraled from there. And then we were like, okay, now we need theme camps once I start connecting with the Second Life people. But it's like, I dove into this Second Life burn 2 thing. And I'm like, fuck, now I'm obligating myself to 2 burns. Like, it's, so I'm trying, like, I want to help. And I like the idea of being a greeter because I'm good at pulling people in and being like, hey, what's up? Come do this thing. But I don't know how that looks, and I don't want to say, yes, I can obligate myself, but then our graduation starts on the 5th, and I have to be at the school waving at people from my freaking car. Like,
sure. So on the HouseFire website is a description of what we're looking for with the greeter lead, for example. And it has an ideal, like, so if it's something like you wanted to apply to be the greeter lead and you know that you're not available on Friday, then, but like, you know, you have 6 hours a week to put up until that point, then that's going to be on you to figure out who can manage the greeter station while you're not there and while you can't participate. The lead descriptor, the lead positions are really the organizers, like the central organizers here. Like we've done like a lot of the sous chef prep work for the meal. And now we're looking for the people who really want to like season the steak, so to speak. And so that would be on you to figure out how that looks. Now, if you're like, I really don't have that time, but I do want to be a greeter. So then you would probably contact the greeter lead once it's decided and be like, awesome, I want to sign up for the shift on Saturday at this time and Sunday at this time. Does that make sense? Cool.
Yep. Thank you.
Can I ask a similar question?
Yeah.
Just wondering if you could clarify something. I haven't really been involved with this group much, and I just wanted to. I was invited here, but it wasn't clear if my work really overlaps with what's going on here. But I'm involved in. I'm one of the leads at the Second Life thing, and I just was wondering: is the activities that you're talking about here including the event at Second Life, or is this something else?
So that is on our agenda a little later, talking about Second Life, and I'm sorry that you're here. But I think these areas, the volunteer areas, this is part of the HouseFire Center Camp. And as much as I would love to see that translated into Second Life, and you know, Blue, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I don't know if there's enough of us that know enough about like rezzing and scripting to be able to like build theme camps and areas within Second Life. But we would love to like integrate a Second Life experience with the Burn 2 community as best we can, see who's interested and see if we could do maybe like some kind of tutorial, and if we could open up space to like maybe res some like, you know, newbie creations or art.
Is the Second Life Burn, is Burn 2 at the same time, June 5th?
Well, what weekend did you? Yeah, you guys reserved that time specifically to overlap, I think. Is that right?
That's what I thought, yeah, because we were talking about doing something with them.
So I feel like we're getting a little off track here, and I do want to just make sure we can get through the agenda. And then I think this is an important discussion, though, and then we should.
Later on the agenda.
What was that?
We have it on the agenda a little bit later.
Okay, so the Greeter Center Cafe, all that you're talking about here is another non-Second Life related entity that you're planning.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. And if I just may,
this wasn't clear to me because I was invited to this for some reason and I wasn't clear what this was about, so I just wanted to.
Well, I'm definitely glad you're here because I did want you to know, kind of to get an idea of what it is that we're doing and how we would like to incorporate Second Life into it. and yeah, like, and I know it's a lot
I
that
mean,
we're
there
asking
are a lot
for.
of leads there who have lots of stuff already prepared, who would take them 15 minutes and just lay down a bunch of stuff you needed. So it's really just a question of figuring out what you want. And there's a little dialogue about, well, what do you have and what's doable in a weekend and all that. But
Yeah.
it can be a pretty quick, I'd say it could be a 5 or 10 minute conversation max, and just to get you an idea of what's easy and what's doable. And there's a lot of people there that can help. I think it's the key is to just know what kind of communication is expected of you, and then who to contact. I can help route the request to different people if that helps.
That's exactly why I was asking, because if I took the
No.
greeter lead, I would want to do it in Second Life. But then it's like, how do you do that if...
I mean, I can go into any level of detail you want, but assuming that your time is precious and we don't want to spend a lot of time on it, we don't have to. I just wanted to, but we can definitely run them at the same time. And at least as far as just getting what you need set up that weekend, I can help streamline that. And so I don't want to get off track of what you're doing, but if that's something that you're going to talk about later on, I'm happy to stick around and answer questions about it. I just wasn't sure if that was part of what today's talk was about.
Yeah, this is kind of like a whole big overview of like what we've got going on.
So is this a face-to-face thing, or is this a video face-to-video face thing?
So that's what I want to clarify really quick, and then just so everyone does understand, this is not an avatar-based burn. This is using multiple platforms, one of which can be Second Life, depending on how people individually choose to share their events and create their experience. A lot of this will be video Zoom chatting, whether it's like a workshop, so you could demonstrate doing a workshop in your house and you're videoing that to people. This can be let's have a drum circle together via Zoom. This could be a chat room. This could be sharing a link to a movie and all watching it together. So just like in a regular burn, you do all sorts of events and have all sorts of opportunities for interaction and engagement. This is not linked to having an avatar.
Like a who, what, where of a virtual who, what, where would be kind of your jump off point.
Yes, and that's what, and that we are building that. So that's kind of what we alluded to in the beginning, which is just that there will be 3 different sections of our website. So like theme camps can add in their events, and individuals can add in events, and we're building out a whole who, what, when, where guide that will be on the quote unquote Plio website, where you can actually go and see all those things and jump into them as you wish. So I'm gonna actually hand this over to Blue, this is a great jumping off point. I'm gonna hand it over to Blue, who's gonna just talk about theme camps. So go ahead, Blue.
Cool. So I did want to mention one thing with the greeters, which is that that it's all dependent on what we can actually execute in terms of technology. So I don't want to make any promises about what's going to happen or even say how it's exactly going to go, because to be honest, from what I can see, interfacing with the technology team, we don't know. So that's my perception. On to theme camps. So the theme camps is the sort of the thing that makes all of this happen. Like everything else we're doing, and we've been working hard on everything, is designed to allow the theme camps to do their thing, which is to host events, to welcome people, etc. And so right now we have 6 theme camps who've signed up, and we have a preliminary deadline. We have a deadline of this Friday at midnight Pacific for theme camp interest. And basically, what that is going to do is that is going to help us get kind of a little bit of a head start head count of how many theme camps there are. Just to let everyone know, a theme camp is essentially a virtual wrapper, a concept, a way to collect events that might exist. So if someone is going to have a Zoom room, they're going to have 17 events, they could have that as a theme camp. If they're going to do one event, that could be a theme camp. If they're going to do 0 events, that could also be a theme camp. Anything that you want to, it's sort of like the conceptual way to collect different events or even no events if you don't know when your event is going to be. It's not as hard as doing a theme camp in the real world because you don't have to figure out where people are going to go and any logistics, et cetera. So it's a pretty simple type of thing. This initial deadline is on Friday, and we are trying to get a gauge of who's interested. There is a form that is live on the website, housefire.org, if you go to the second page, where people can fill out the details about what their theme camp will be. The benefit of getting on that deadline or getting everything in before that deadline is that they have, those camps will have the first priority for being mapped, assuming we can get a map going, which is an unknown. There's a what, where, when. That's one way to sort of navigate around things. And then the second one is this idea of a map, which we hope can happen, but we don't know for sure. And then there is a next deadline, which is theme camp registration, which is on the 25th of this month. And that will be a separate link. And then we have, the other thing that I want to say is that there's a volunteer application link in the chat, apparently. So I don't know.
That was the goal before the bomb.
Okay, there is no link in the chat. You can't.
No, sorry.
But we'll put it out. So should I talk? I guess I should talk about, or Kitty, do you want to talk about open camping?
Sure. Well, so yeah, like in my mind, and I hear what you're saying about like the theme camps are a wrapper because the way that it looks like the website's gonna go, you know, the theme camp is like the big bullet point, and then your events are the little bullet points inside, and that'll be how we can navigate the website. Open camping will be like, and maybe I don't know, I believe this is what it's going to be, is that open camping, it like as we have a house fire camp, the house fire camp will have the effigy, the temple, all of the things that are the house fire focused. Then various theme camps will have all of their events. Open camping is for one event. So if you're having one, if you go to, if you usually camp in open camping, but you want to host a workshop or, you know, put on a performance or participate and contribute some kind of event, you can register that event in open camping. And then Second Life stuff. So here's where we have Second Life. And the things that are listed here are maybe not correct, because I know we need to talk with the Burn 2 community. If you have, I'm so sorry. Remind me of your name again. That's here with Burn 2. I can't. I'm gonna stop share actually.
Yay!
Oh, Chuga.
I can see everybody.
Yeah, sorry. All right, I'll leave that off the agenda. We're almost to the end. But if people are familiar with Second Life and would like to do more within Second Life, we can compile your information so that we can try to figure out exactly how we want to get creative within that. And then I think I'm pretty sure that the plan is to have the Second Life Burn 2 experience running concurrently with all of the other Zoom meetings.
I'm back. I don't know. I had to drop out for a moment there. Did you want
There actually is
to say anything about that?
Yeah, well, so I know, so Justin unfortunately wasn't able to make it, and I know you guys have been talking, and I'm just kind of coming into this now, but what I was understanding is that you guys would be doing like a pop-up burn experience for HouseFire that we, you know, and then if we could get other volunteers that are interested, we can coordinate building something or doing something or somehow participating.
I mean, I was thinking there could be camps there too, depending on how much you wanted to get into.
Right.
And at least a stage with some music too. So yeah, I mean, Justin would obviously has the vision, but it's also kind of coming down to the wire as far as communicating what needs to be done. So I was hoping that today. but let me know if there's anything I can do. I just don't wait till the last minute.
I'll definitely be reaching out to you sometime after this too, and I would love to have some more meetings, and we can talk with Justin too. And I think we were planning to schedule something too after this, and kind of just make sure that we get everything on the same page and streamline it because it is getting close. And I'm just so grateful for your interest, and you know, whatever we'll and all, you know, I'm sure we'll create something fabulous that people can enjoy.
Yeah, so there'll be a separate meeting scheduled for that, and we will post it and give everyone that's interested plenty of opportunity to be a part of that. So, Kitty, do you wanna outline the last part of our agenda tonight is really talking about some we've talked about putting a theme to HouseFire, and Kitty's gonna kind of go into that a little bit, and then we'll open up for questions, and I can very briefly at the end give everyone one more overview so that anybody that came in later or wants any more clarity, I'm happy to just summarize that as well.
Sounds great. Yeah, so the theme, the official Burning Man virtual burn, you know, because every year Burning Man does a theme, and this year their theme is the multiverse. So, and then Burn 2's theme for their most recent regional was Between the Stars. And they're kind of like riffing off of this like general multiverse theme, which I would also love to do for HouseFire. And the theme that I really want to do is called The Inner Worlds. And the little blip I have for it is discover the multiverse within, explore the physical and spiritual environments that exist within us, exploring the possible connections between the two. So that artistic inspiration would be like the cells in your body, your nervous system, chakras, pressure points, like all of the microscopic worlds and universes that create us. If people have other theme suggestions, we're opening that up. I'm really hoping that this, you know, we wanted to make it an inclusive experience. If you have suggestions, I have some other theme suggestions, like a timeless world, where some clocks have stopped and others are spinning out of control. What is time anyway? What does the present mean? What does the now mean? So many worlds. If there was a parallel universe where we made all the right decisions, what would that look like? What would utopia look like? But as I said before, I really like Inner Worlds. And that's what I have a not so secret agenda that I would love that to be the theme. But yeah, now let's open it up. And if people have suggestions, comments, questions, concerns, that's the end of the agenda.
Okay. So first of all, if you're gonna have that, you can basically spout stream a Second Life camera back out into the main feed. If somebody wanted to do that, but I'd probably have to host a computer doing that. And just pipe it with Spout and VMAX.
I feel like most people are not going to understand what you're saying.
Yeah, most people don't anyway. So basically using Spout and VMix NDI to get a two-dimensional feed of the second live stream back out into the main zone.
So this is something that we're going to have to take off this conversation because that's going to be a technical conversation as far as it's not like we have one main Zoom. But before I go any further than that, I just want to redirect it. Does anyone have any issue or further idea about Inner World being like a theme that people can use as a launching point for creativity? A lot of people love to have a platform. So they're like, I don't know what kind of workshop to do. I don't know what kind of art to make. Inner World could be that theme that kind of promotes that creativity and kind of stimulates it, so to speak.
Yeah, I love that as an idea. I'm into it.
I don't want to hijack a theme, so I'm down for that.
All right, going once, going twice. So, cool. So that's going to be our theme then. That's awesome. And we can start promoting that and letting people know. I know especially like as an artist and somebody that's gonna be working on like the art stuff, I know that that was such a good point. It's really helpful to have a theme that like gives that platform. So good work on that, Kitty. Just for everybody that's come in late, so we're killing it with the time. We've got about 10 minutes left to be respectful of everyone's time, and then as long as Blue doesn't have any issue to it, people are welcome to continue that. But so quick overview if you came in late. HouseFire Burn, there's 2 websites. The first one is housefire.org. That is where you go for all your information, to sign up to volunteer, to do, to sign up to be a lead, to register a theme camp, any of that like pre-production stuff. There was a question that was brought up on the chat that was, is there just a general volunteer form out? And the answer to that as of right now is no. Only because we're waiting until those lead descriptors are put in place. With the timeline that we're working on right now, we're all aware that it is very short and we're trying to do quite a bit. So we feel we made the decision that we would get those leads in place hopefully by the end of the week, if not early next week, and then open that volunteer form. So that way each lead has a little bit more agency and it's a little bit more organized on the back end of things, that whoever that lead is, we can direct all of that to them, and they can also figure out what they need volunteers for. As I was kind of explaining earlier, there's a lot of opportunity for creative agency in ingenuity with this platform because it is a virtual thing. So we are going to have a few nuances and things that we're facing, but we're facing them together. So we have points for those leads. And that was the other big piece that Serenity pointed out that was great, which is just all of those leads have somebody to talk to, bounce ideas off with. Like there's a kind of, not like there's no hierarchical structure, like, but there is somebody that is like kind of overseeing each section of those lead descriptions. We've broken them up. Other things are just, again, if you came in late, is that, like I said, we're looking for leads right now. The descriptors, the descriptions for the leads are on the HouseFire website, and the application is there too. So spread the word, and also join HouseFire_burn on IG for the people that aren't necessarily using Facebook. We have the Instagram, and then we also are working on newsletters. That is probably, I feel like that's like the relevant information for an overview. And unless anyone has anything to add from the build team before, then I think we should open it up for questions.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize one quick thing before we do that, we really are looking for people to get the word out about these theme camp interest forms, and just kind of getting involved either that way or being a lead. So please, please, please help spread, share the love, share these links, tell your friends who are busy and passionate and not busy. And yeah, we're hoping we can have, put together a great burn, but with that, we need some communal effort. So please, please help us.
Do I have to raise my hand?
Should I fill out an interest form for a virtual camp?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
The virtual camps and regular camps, like, the interest form is the same, and it's on the housefire.org website, and there you can go in and specify what you are interested in and what that looks like.
And I just posted it to the chat too.
Perfect. Thank you, Shelby.
Thank you for posting those. I didn't know that there was a form for it, so I posted something on my Facebook like, yo, theme camps, where you at? Hit me up because I need you. And a bunch of them commented like, great. I'm the leader of X theme camp, blah, 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 blah. What do we do? What do you need? And so I was like, shit, what do I do now? And so I just sent them, I started posting the links to the planning group and HouseFire.
Okay.
And they started to join it, and then they went, okay, now what? So now I know to guide them to do that.
Great.
I'm trying to get my own theme camp involved, and if they don't, then I'm just gonna do it anyway and use
then
that.
You could go to open camping and set up your own events and do your own thing, independent of like a registered quote unquote theme camp. But also for transparency's sake, we really wanted to have all of these forms put together and have that website launched before we went public so that we weren't running into like lowering momentum. So now that we have those things, like push that shit out and get excited.
Great.
Questions, comments, or concerns?
One thing, can you hear me? Am I on? Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing, so I believe,
Okay. Sorry.
I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but Nystagmus 9 had mentioned something about, I believe that I understand the question correctly or the idea correctly, broadcasting what's in Second Life into the sort of like the burn in general. And Justin and I talked about this issue. There's a technical thing, which I don't think is that hard, but it's also an ethical thing, which is making sure that the people in Second Life, the people in there are aware that things are being broadcast, because if you're in a burn, if you're in a theme camp, if you're in a room somewhere, you want to know if you're being recorded, and that's essentially recording. So there is maybe a way to do this, which is to have a designated place that people know that if they go to in Second Life, that's where that will be broadcast onto the sort of the other part of it. But that's something that I guess we would talk about with the coordinator, and that's an ethical thing, not a technical thing, I guess.
Yeah, they've done that a few times before, so there are ways of doing it. Basically, they just tell people in advance that's what we're going to do, and if anyone doesn't want to be seen, just don't come. Generally, we get more than the average of people when it's being broadcast usually. Although we also have to watch out for, depending on how wide you're telling people about it, we've had people show up to try to like pitch their Bitcoin channel and abuse the system and a little bit one here and there. So it's good to have a range. Actually, they have rangers there. You should probably plan on having a ranger for the event.
Yeah, we have a Rangers team that Kitty's heading up. She's calling them Mata Rangers, which is
they can eject people.
Pretty cool. Yeah, we had a little bit of experience with that earlier today as well. So
I know, what a learning experience. So like, yeah, I'm really gonna, it's a weird blessing in disguise that happened, because it's got me thinking of a lot, which I already was before, but like, no, I needed to see it for real. I'm like, oh, that's not gonna happen to us. No, we need to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have a couple
of common knowledge that you're going to broadcast the Second Life in the public. You'll get extra people.
You'll get bombers.
And you get a lot of good people too. So.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, there's a lot to think of there, and I'm going to need a lot of help for that with the more technically savvy people. So I will be recruiting, and also anyone. Dex, you said you might be interested. You're interested in the Mata Ranger team.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm up for leading it, because I'm not real up with social platforms, but I'm definitely there as a participant.
Awesome. And if I could, are you technically like with like technology stuff? Are you good with that kind of element?
I'm a geek. My day job is geek. It's just like, I manage the Zoom channel, some of the Zoom channels at work. But like Second Life is completely new to me. Let's say that I could handle things like Zoom bombers.
Cool. Yeah, if anybody knows people that are good with these technological social platforms, and I'm going to be doing a lot of research, learning about how to block people. And I think the Mata Ranger team will start compiling documents on how-tos for various platforms of, little tutorials about how to block someone, what warnings you give people, what gets no warning and is immediately ejected, and kind of procedures for how to handle various issues.
Yeah. I'm a moderator on some Facebook pages that are kind of weird.
Yeah, if you have any friends that do that too.
So I wanted to ask everyone who's here if you have a favorite Burning Man principle, even if it's not an official principle, and you are willing to go on camera and talk about it. We started this project a while ago. We have, I think, 3 or 4 principles. But if you have an idea about this stuff, and you want to like kind of go off on a little tangent or talk about it, especially something that you think would be helpful for newbies, please hit me up because that would be very useful.
Okay, yeah. At Frostburn a few years ago, somebody was doing like principal card tarot readings. You know, draw a card and see what your principal was.
Okay, we got 3 minutes. Rachel.
Okay.
So I'm curious about if there's some sort of strategy or plan in terms of sharing some of these different links and recruiting for theme camps and sharing about HouseFire and stuff, just because it would be a bummer, I guess, to duplicate energy and then also to miss places because we're all looking in the same places. Is there something in place for that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good question. So right now we have the Facebook. So there's the planning group on the Facebook. And we're directing everyone to the housefire.org. So, and let me know if this doesn't answer your question, but our goal, sorry guys.
Can I actually say one thing before you get started, Paige? Can I just say one thing?
Yep, sure.
So that's part of the reason we asked for this director of communication and assistant director of communication, because although we think we've hit some of the pocket areas, like we know that we haven't like been thorough and systematic, and you know, Serenity has done some of the promotion, I've done some of the promotion, and you know, a big part of this is getting people to promote, but it's not systematic. So that is part of the reason that we have asked for that, because we know that that's a little bit of a blind spot.
So there's where there's a seeking out for you said a director of communication and assistant director. I missed that part. Okay, yeah, that'll help a lot, and that basically addresses my question, just in that it's like that will be addressing the question. So okay, yeah. Thank you very much. I'll check into that.
Right now it's been like guerrilla tactics of just like everyone drop into where you know, and so once we get that, or if you're interested, that description is on housefire.org. So
in case anyone is interested in either of those 2 positions, I have been just kind of compiling the ways in which we've been talking about the burn and like a mini brand guide, so that whoever takes that position on know that you're not starting from scratch, and that we can kind of help walk you through the best way to like strategically get the word out.
Yeah, I'm interested in that, so I'll check into that.
Awesome.
Yay. I'd help. I'd be on a team for that, but not taking lead for it. So yeah, I'll totally help you. Cool. I've been telling everyone about it, even my students.
Awesome.
Yay. Oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be fun, guys.
Yeah.
Like, Burn 2 was so amazing. And like, if you haven't gotten into Second Life, like, check it out because it's really cool. And the community of people that I met there was so awesome. And I'm so excited to be having that experience, as well as having like all these Zooms and like various things. I think this is going to be really, really nice and good for my soul, because with everything being canceled and the world being upside down. So thanks. I'm so glad everyone's here.
Yeah, we really, really appreciate all the support and just coming to the town hall and participating and listening. I know it was a lot of talking. Typically we think of a town hall as like more of a dialogue. For us, it was really a chance to get everyone on the same page. So following this, if you have any questions, feel free to contact any of us through Facebook. And Blue has been sending out those emails as well. But if anyone does, if we're
add into our DMs on Instagram.
Yeah, add them to the DM. Yeah, send them to the DM on IG. But yeah, if everyone's good, then as far as like question and answers, then I'm gonna close us out, like, you know,
wrap it up.
In theory, and then anybody that wants to leave can, and I'm sure that anybody that wants to continue chatting or get into anything deeper can do that as well.
Thank you.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Nice to meet you all.
It was
Thanks again,
awesome seeing everybody.
everyone.
Thank you so much for
Bye,
coming.
everyone.
Have a good night, y'all.
Ciao.
Bye, Mistress Moon.
I'm so glad you're here. So I made it. Did she leave?
I love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Oh, I'm not leaving. I was saying bye to Anya. Oh, I thought Anya was leaving.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
Hey, Ashley, great seeing you.
Hi, my darling. I miss you. I miss burning so much, guys. You have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Tell me about it.
I'm sorry that
I'm-
I've been an emotional wreck for those of you that I've talked to. Life has been a whole lot. I went from not knowing if I was still working to working literally 24/7 to now normalcy a little bit. But I'm trying to make a yearbook, and it's 120 pages individually, and it's due on the 22nd. So it's just a fuck ton that I'm running right now. So I'm sorry if I've seemed frantic. My apologies.
It's all right. Busy people get shit done.
Try to.
That's a lot. Life's crazy.
All right, bye guys.
Hi, thank you for your help.
Thanks
for hopping on.
Yes, I'm very happy that we are on Instagram. I must say, like here in Brazil and in South America especially, Facebook is not like the best platform to use it. I use a lot of the Instagram. I'm gonna post the shit out of it. I've been doing lots of stories, and I
love this.
All.
Yeah, gorgeous. I'll watch you all day.
Everybody,
All day.
together.
All day.
Hi, thank you so much. Yeah, I've really appreciated like everything that you've been sharing and posting. So keep up the love. It's mutual.
Yay. Bye.
I love your background too. Oh my gosh, all the colors.
Just everything.
So colorful.
I love you. No, don't leave.
Oh, if you guys don't care, and if you're still going over stuff, I'd love to just kind of pop in, if that's okay, just to observe and kind of get it. Because I'm trying to still also really understand how this is all going to play out. I don't really live in the online virtual world. I don't play video games. I've never done Second Life. So I'm still trying to really figure out, like, how do we do a virtual burn other than just a bunch of random Zoom sessions? So if you guys don't care that I'm spying, I will.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
I could connect you with Second Life people who I have been like sort of working with to try to do this newbie thing, because I've been starting out as a total noob, and they acclimate people pretty well. It can be overwhelming if you want it to be.
Oh, I don't want it to be, so that's great.
Right. I didn't realize that I wanted it to be because I want my person to look like me. And so therefore I've been trying to figure out like radical self-expression is one of the things that's important to me. And so it wasn't making a burn experience feel like a burn experience necessarily because I looked like this like bald-headed sort of like alien, not me. So yeah, but I mean I can connect you with those people if you
Okay,
like.
yeah, because I'm just very still, even though I've been seeing this concept for 2 months and hearing about it and like reading about it, my brain for whatever reason is just going like, I don't get it, and it's nothing settling in or cementing.
No worries, I was the same exact way.
But I also like helping plan stuff, so like I want to be useful even though I don't understand how in the world I possibly can because I don't know what we're doing.
So do you know what's funny? One of our founders, Jelly Donut, he was the same way. He was like with it for he was hardcore. He was into it. He's like doing things. And he was like, I just don't understand how a virtual burn could work. And I think the one thing that changed him is he came to the speakeasy, and that he's like, I see how it could be. And there was like, have you been to like a Zoom party yet?
I mean, I've done a few. When you set up a couple of things through, I don't even remember what that was, back in March.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple, like a Saturday night and a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
I tapped into a couple of those.
Were those Demio calls?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And then I was, my birthday party was on Zoom, and I attended another one last week. So like I've been through, but other than like just telling a bunch of people, okay, anyone who wants to jump on Zoom to whatever at this time, here's the link. That's as far as my brain seems to be able to grasp.
Well,
how to unify this whole thing and have theme camps and have workshops, and all I can think of is just here's a bunch of links, jump on the one that you want.
Well, there was the virtual catharsis on weekend before last.
A virtual, what was that?
Catharsis on the Mall basically had
Oh,
a
they
virtual
did.
burn.
It was
I missed
fun
that.
too.
I
Yeah.
missed it entirely.
But it was like, it was in that platform that, so they had a Facebook page and they had a website, and they were just like posting like, this is happening now, this is happening now, and it was just a link that you could click on, and it would take you to whatever was happening in that moment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it was helpful for those people who are like, oh shit, I'm not paying attention, where do I go now? Here, now here, now here. It's like you could pick what you wanted, and I'm not a fan of all the music choices, so it's like I could click on one and be like, nah, click that off, and then click on another one. Versus like if you walk up to a burn at an event, so you walk up and you're like, oh, okay, now I'm here. Oh, all right. Now I'm in 20 conversations with people. Oh, okay, let me just keep doing. All right, maybe I'll go over here, and then you like have to tap shoe out the room. This is like, like you can like tap shoe out less awkwardly.
And to me, it's about connection, right? So it's like a new medium. So we get creativity in a new medium. So it's not. It's going to be really different from a regular burn, but it's an opportunity. Like, how can we get artistic with this? What can we do within the confines of a Zoom meeting that like elevates it to some other kind of shared experience? You know, whether it's music or dancing or what we're putting in our screens or what we're communicating with each other or in chat. If you're doing Twitch, like what can you do on Twitch? If we can use like any other kind of platform, like what can you create on your own and then share with the community? And the Second Life thing does feel way more like a burn kind of, because you're like in that like avatar mode. And so it'll be cool to like have that access to, like, if you want to feel like you're on a playa and in a chat, like, and you can like, they have like a voice mode in Second Life, so you can like actually like talk to other avatars.
And
like,
I can
with
like
your
touch you. Like I
you can,
touch is a huge thing.
You can't have sex on the playa, but you can like
Well, yeah, but you can close,
but
you
could
know?
go to somewhere, you could go to another adult sim and like actually like orgy if you wanted to.
Right.
But
which is helpful.
But yeah, but having that connection.
I have a question. Kind of this, all of you were describing made me sort of think that this might work. Have any of you been part of the Socially Distant Fest? I'm sure there's many of them, but there's one specific Facebook group, Socially Distant Fest. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's basically a worldwide. It's a Facebook group, and it's worldwide, and they have. It's the basic idea is that it's multiple open mic stages available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, essentially. And so anybody who basically wants to can stream. And there's been fire spinners, there's been comedians, there's a lot of people with guitars and singing. There's been a bunch of DJs. And so you can go on there any day, any time of day. And there's several different live feeds going on. And it's not like in certain blocks, like, okay, from 6 to 6:30, here's 10 people. It's just all staggered. Some people are just like, here's a song, okay, I'm done. And then someone else has like an hour-long DJ set. So I wonder if something like that would be kind of a cool way also to incorporate, if there's a way to incorporate that into HouseFire, where just like at a burn where you go to different theme camps and there's a DJ playing, and you go like, I don't like this DJ's music. Oh, but there's like a drum circle over there. And then you wander over to the other open mic stage.
Can somebody share their screen so that we can
like tactile senses, like really like immersed in the experience of what the creative has to offer, and that like especially with fire spitting, like I want to be there, and that's cool to like be there with the camera and like I appreciate
I was trying to
that.
share my screen, but now I can't seem to do it. Hold
No,
on.
I mean like so that I can
Socially Distant Fest.
Show you. No. I went on that that you were talking about. So exactly that is what this guy. What was his name? He was like, hey, my name Dane, because I remember Serenity was like, we were like laughing at his name for a second. To him, obviously not like about it, but yeah, Dane. He was like, I do this. This is the format that I do it, and posted on the planning page or whatever. It looks like a map, like a Google map, where you would have a burn. And that was what the starting point was. And then you could hover over like where the theme camps would be in little place markers. And the place markers look like actually on Google Maps, he set up where they were links. So you could click a place marker and it said like Camp Contact. And then they're hosting this, and here's a link, so you click on the links. And so it's exactly what you're talking about, but in a tangible format for people, that it's not like you're going to one Twitch stream that's 24/7 and you're like, it's immersive in that sense that you can like hop around. So if you're not a Zoom person and you are an avatar person, you can go to these versus these.
So you're saying that is going to be the format also for HouseFire?
We're not saying yet, but one of the people in the planning, and I think John knows him, Dane or Dangerous. He's an expert. He's probably a world-renowned expert of doing that type of thing. And I think that's what Astral is talking about. Like it's and there's a couple different ways we're trying to make that happen, and it's not settled. We haven't quite finished it yet, but ideally we would have a map and it would be in line with the theme, and then people get to click the theme camp and be able to go there if they want.
Now, I'm curious though, because this is virtual, that means it could be over the whole world. So would it literally be a Google map anywhere? A person could have a theme camp in Antarctica or wherever.
It's one of the things we've been discussing, how to do it, and if we want to do it like that. So there's some other parts of it that it has to be connected with the rest of everything. So we've got like, it's an unknown, yes, but that is one way you could have done it. I like that idea, by the way. I like the idea of having the world. Like, where's the camp? And you go all around the world.
Cool.
So
yeah, it was cool. It was fun. Plus, I was really high doing it, so I was like,
I don't know if you guys know John Mack. I just met him online, and I would just tell you that this guy is he's awesome. He is very meticulous. I asked if anyone would help look at like our website before it went sort of live, and he looked at it and he found like all sorts of things that definitely could have used optimization, to say it nicely. So thank you for that. And
thanks, Jack.
It just like when I saw he was in here, I was like, yes, good, awesome. So all right, cool.
Yeah, if you guys haven't attended like some of these things that are happening, like they'll change your idea about virtualness. Like I stayed up for 3 days straight at some festival that I accidentally clicked on. So it all depends on.
I'm gonna have to like reach out to you outside of this, because I missed the catharsis thing entirely. I've missed everything. I know things are happening, and then every time I ask someone like, hey, so like all this time being at home, have you found any festivals or anything cool that you're doing? And everyone's like, oh.
Rachel, aren't you on our newsletter? All of this stuff was in our newsletter. Go to housefire.org.
Yeah, and Blue sends out an email that has like continual links like of the stuff that you can just click on. That's how I was doing some of the stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I gotta double check that. My emails just become a big junk mail PO box kind of thing, and every once in a while I eliminate some of the hundreds of like nonsense and delete stuff and unsubscribe and whatever. And I need like I unsubscribe and then I still end up like, why am I being put out all this stuff? So I end up avoiding it because I like, more real life, like with Facebook, there's individuals I can just chat. You know how that works versus an email back and forth. So
Rachel, what's your name on Facebook?
Make a new email.
I know. Well, I already have like 4. So
Rachel, what's your name on Facebook?
It's exactly how I have it here, Rachel A.
Okay. Wait, we are friends.
I think so.
We too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think me, Astral, and Rachel, I think the 3 of us all met at one of the original events that Blue was doing before HouseFire.
Oh! Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense now.
Yeah. I think you and I have been Facebook friends.
Yeah.
Who burn stuff from sometime in the past year, I think.
Or
yeah.
It was, yeah.
Like, I don't think it's ever been real life in person. I think it's been through the Facebook pages and then conversing. So
that makes sense.
Ashley and I met at Wicker Man a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. I was like Camp Gold Star then. It was very different. now I'm Camp Aladasic, which is quesadilla backwards.
And hopefully we will be able to do Automile.
Yes.
I'm so there. I've canceled every single bit of vacation between here and August, so I'm going to be going into September with like 20 days of user lose.
I'm part of the mentality that thinks that this is life now. And we should acclimate to that, and we should all get some dope ass gas masks and acclimate to this way of life. Because it's like a burn 24/7. You're welcome.
That's like a friend of mine who's former Air Force put a picture on his Facebook wall of him wearing like an M17 gas mask. It's like what we were wearing 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And I said they may look slicker than the new M40s, but the filters on those things are a bitch to change. Because my last 6 months in, I was Sergeant Gas Mask for my battery. I had to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and be in there at 5 to issue the gas masks every time we went to field.
Yeah.
Finally, they just said, "Screw it, take your gas mask home with you."
Right, because it makes it easier. So,
Which meant that, like, when the duplex the other half of the duplex infested mine with roaches, I just put on my gas mask. I put all the pets out in the backyard, put on my gas mask, and poured a gallon each of bleach and Clorox in the bathtub, and just poison gas the whole duplex.
God damn.
Hey, chemical warfare has its uses.
All those witnesses for the masks.
But yeah, it's when this whole N95 thing, I just went in my emergency bag and got the one that's been sitting in there for 5 years.
Oh, I had 2 gas masks already that had filters in them. Thanks for being a pothead. And then I had an N95 mask because I used to do graffiti. It's like perfect.
Yeah.
Well, being a degenerate finally pays off.
Finally pays off being a
let me whip up an image. Let me whip up an image search here.
Exactly. Rachel, I'll send you the stuff. There's like, I've got. I think Shelby's trying to nudge me to be this like communications person because I've been hoarding like documents, I think, like Shelby has. Plus, I'm very vocal about talking to people. I just don't like the commitment of knowing that everything falls on my shoulders. And I've seen too many times that technology has failed, and it tends to fail me for reasons that I can't explain. So I'm hesitant to take on a leadership position.
Or I wonder, like, if we could, I would almost rather want to tag team co-lead.
Oh, I definitely help with, yeah.
Ashley, is that what you got?
Yeah, but mine looks like a little jankier than that, but it's close. I've been converting straps because I've only got one set of straps, but I got one of these ones.
Oh, okay. That one's East European. Actually, that looks like a modern art type one.
Yeah.
Meeting's officially over, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This one's missing its filter.
Damn, that one's dope. See?
That's what they're currently issuing. See that one that you can just screw a filter canister onto one of these valves on the sides? The earlier one that I was showing is like what we were issuing 40 years ago, and it takes like half an hour to change the filters in one mask.
So it's like gas mask, crossbow, gardening. What else we need? We just need to move into a commune at this point, folks.
Well, somebody was talking about, there's a plague. We're going to have social breakdown. Everybody's going to be cooking on campfires in their backyards and stuff, and there's not going to be any potable water, and they're going to have to
bring it
boil water and things like that. and all the reenactors are going, okay, when does the event start?
Right, exactly. Exactly.
You
We
know,
can do this.
I'd rather not do it.
no, my current extremely flickery virtual background is the elementary school I went to for half of third and fourth and fifth grade.
Wow.
That's in Kinshasa.
I can eat virtual bananas, Blue, because I'm allergic to bananas, so I won't die if I eat a virtual banana.
But yeah, no, that building to the left is the library where I get hooked on science fiction.
That's cool. That's a cool school.
In third grade.
Science fiction, you say?
Yeah.
Would you get hooked on? What author?
The first thing I read was Red Planet, Heinlein. And then my parents got me like the Tom Corbett Space Cadet series, and I read all the other oh, that's right. You're Rachel. You've been to Pennsylvania, right?
Well, I've been to Pennsylvania, but I'm more laughing because I listen to a lot of old time radio.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Like Space Patrol, all that stuff. It's hilarious. And so
They
you
used to. No, there was actually a series of like 12 or 13 books detailing the careers of these guys.
That's great.
And,
yeah, listening to some of the. So I like some science fiction. I really love anthologies from like the 60s, 70s, maybe 50s.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then there's some of the stuff on old time radio. So there's some of the stories are really great, or some of the shows generally are